everyone. Welcome to yet another exciting season of our community podcast series, Season 9. This season, we get an opportunity to profile art practitioners in Uganda, Mali, Rwanda, and Cote d'Ivoire. We speak to them about how they have contributed to the growth and well-being of their communities using their talent and skills for philanthropy. Thank you for joining us.
Hello everyone, I am Youma DJIGUÉ, a 29-year-old Malian married and mother of a 1-year-old boy. After obtaining my baccalaureate in 2010 in Bamako, I flew to France to do 5 years of university curriculum. And in 2016, with a master's degree in brand communication strategies under my arm, I returned to my native country to bring my little stone to the building and use what I had learned in the West to contribute to the development of Mali. And since January 2020, I have been working at African Culture Fund as communication and partnership manager. I have also been a member of the international charity Rotary for 5 years, and with God's permission, I will have the honor to be the president of the Rotary Club Bamako Alassane Kanté for 1 year, starting from the 1st of July. To me, generosity and self-sacrifice should not be a duty, but a way of life for everyone. I also want to clarify that there is no one way to give. Of course, we can be generous by giving money, but not only. We are generous when we smile at a person we don't know. We are generous when we help an elderly person or a child to cross the road. We are generous when we give water to a stray dog. We are generous when we allow a person to forget their worries for a moment by taking them to see a show, for example. We are generous when we use our expertise, our talent, or our qualities to improve the life of a person or a group. One of the first acts of generosity that I remember involves my grandmother. May she rest in peace. Since my early childhood, I have always seen her every noon and every evening inviting the young beggars of the neighborhood to come and eat. Even when times were tough, she always made sure to keep a side dish of rice for them. You know, generosity and hospitality are the basis of the West African and Malian culture in particular. No matter your nationality, no matter your religion or your color, you will always find someone who will reach out to you and offer you a room to sleep, something to drink, to eat, or to wear. And the African Culture Fund perfectly expresses this philanthropic and solidarity spirit specific to Africa, because our primary mission is to support and accompany the artists and cultural organizations of the continent in order to encourage the writing of new narratives on Africa by Africans. My motivation to give is largely religious. The Prophet of Islam, Muhammad, peace and salutation be upon him, said, "The people most loved by God are those who are the most useful to others." And you know, this sentence has challenged me since adolescence and has become my principle. I strive to help at least one person every day in the smallest way possible. But my motivation is also cultural because I grew up in an environment where generosity and Maya, meaning humanity in Bambara, was an act that went without saying. So growing up, I just continued on this path. At the African Culture Fund, through the calls for proposal that we launch each year, we offer grants to artists and cultural organizations on the continent for the implementation of innovative projects that create behavioral change and social progress. In addition, through ACF Academy, which is a capacity building program for arts and crafts in Africa, we also offer young African artists and cultural managers professional training and certification coupled with monitoring and mentoring over 18 months to support them in structuring their activities. The African cultural sector has very little funding, which leaves most artists and cultural organizations on the continent in precarious situations. This was emphasized by the arrival of COVID 19, the confinement of populations, and the closure of performance halls, and the suspension of many cultural events. So, the SOFACO initiative, meaning Solidarity Fund for Artists and Cultural Organizations in Africa, is an initiative of ACF, which is a system of assistance and support for artists set up so that creativity and artistic productivity do not stop, but also to enable them to effectively resist the pandemic and preserve the socio-economic fabric of the already fragile African creative sector. It is with this in mind that the ACF has launched since May 2020 four calls for proposals within the framework of SOFACO, and which have made it possible to financially relieve 292 artists and cultural organizations in 42 African countries, with grants ranging from 2,000 to 5,000 euros per artist or per cultural organization. Since the creation of the ACF in 2018, we have had the privilege of being supported by valued institutional partners as well as individual patrons and visual artists from Africa and elsewhere. And regarding our institutional partners who support us both financially and technically, we have the Doen Foundation from Netherlands, the Swiss Cooperation from Mali, the Open Society Foundations from USA, the Ford Foundation from USA as well, the Afrexim Bank from Egypt, the Foundation for the Development of Contemporary African Culture from Morocco, the Festival sur le Niger Foundation from Mali, the Seychelles Art Project Foundation from Seychelles, the Africana Association from Morocco, the Cultural and Tourism Development Fund from Burkina Faso, the Fond Maya from Mali, the Contemporary Art Fair 154 from Africa, the 32 Bis Art Center from Tunisia, the Chore Institute of Arts and Crafts from Mali, and finally the Chore Cultural Center from Mali as well. So we thank all of our partners for the support and the trust. Our fundraising strategy revolves around three main axes. First is the sale of artworks offered to the ACF by renowned artists from the continent and elsewhere. After that, we have the mobilization of funds from African and international organizations. And finally, we have the raising of funds from individual African and international patrons. And we would like to clarify that donations from visual artists are made in kind. In other words, they offer us one or more of their works. It can be a painting, it can be a drawing, it can be a photography, a sculpture, a designer, furniture, so that we can sell them at auctions and we can inject the income into the funding of other cultural projects in Africa. My last remark on generosity will be made through a wonderful quote from the Algerian writer Yasmina Kadra. He said, "No one in the world knows how to share and forgive better than him." If I had to put a face to generosity, it would be the face of an African. And if I had to put a shine on fraternity, it will have the shine of an African loaf. To finish, I just would like to encourage all listeners, regardless of their financial situation, to always have their hearts filled with kindness and generosity, because when you always give, you always receive. And I also invite all philanthropists and art lovers who have been touched by the mission of the African Culture Fund and who would also like to contribute to the development of the African cultural sector to contact us at the following email: administrator@africanculturefund.net. And for more info on our activities, I invite you to visit our website at www.africanculturefund.net. And I will also want to thank the entire CIV Source Africa team for inviting me to speak on such an important subject. And I wish you good luck for the future. Thank you.
Join us for our next episode as we continue to talk about how different artists and creatives are giving back to their communities. We hope that you have been inspired to give of your time, treasure, and talent when it comes to philanthropy within your own community.